Welcome to the virtual opening of our Silliman University Heritage Collection of memorabilia from years past. The Heritage Collection gives not only glimpses of what life was like during the early years of Silliman, but it is also one way of honoring those whose life works created and contributed greatly to the early beginnings of this illustrious institution. To open this collection, we feature the life and work of the foremother of Sillimanians, Dr. Laura Crooks Hibbard. Laura was born in 1874 in Fredonia, Kansas, and was graduated from the College of Emporia in 1896. She traveled the Philippines in 1899 when her husband, David Sutherland Hibbard, left the pastorate in Linden, Kansas, and accepted the invitation of the Presbyterian Board of Foreign Missions to serve in the Philippine Islands. After serving the mission center in Iloilo, they arrived in Dumaguete on August 10, 1901. They opened Silliman Institute on August 28, 1901, with David Hibbard as the founding president and Laura Hibbard as the first faculty. This is the first time in the long history of our alma mater that we are giving tribute to the woman who was instrumental in starting Silliman.
Greetings, everyone. Today, we're so happy to have opened the Laura Hibbard Heritage Room. And as we opened this place, we also are opening our hearts to imagine what life was during the earliest days of the then Silliman Institute. So many years have passed, but this is an opportune time now as we celebrate the 119th Founders Day celebration to focus on a woman, a minister's wife, who did more than just being a household manager, but managed to be an operations manager of that then institute, and who herself has poured a lot of time for classroom management as well as maintaining communications to Dumaguete and from Dumaguete so that the rest of the world will know what happens to our teaching and learning ministry. First, let me say thank you to the whole chapter, the Silliman Alumni Association, Dumaguete chapter, for carrying out with the plan and implementing this particular momentous event so that we can bring to you memories of the past. So to one and all, welcome and do visit the Laura Hibbard Heritage Room. Daghang salamat, padayon lang kitang tanan.
We are here in Silliman Hall to look into the recreation of the room of Laura Hibbard, the woman who actually served as the first acting president of Silliman Institute from November 1901 until the first closing exercises on March 3, 1902. A few months after Silliman opened, David Hibbard's health worsened and he was advised to go on sick leave. While David was hospitalized in Japan, Laura took over his functions until missionaries from nearby places came. Housing for them was quite adequate. Excess beds from the mission hospital were brought to their first home by the waterfront, now the Rizal Boulevard of Dumaguete City. The humble dwelling is recreated right here on the second floor room facing the waterfront.
Aside from being mother to the early Sillimanians, Laura's own family was growing. Her first son, Hall Livingston Hibbard, born in the United States in 1903, was followed by Donald Lawrence Hibbard, born in Dumaguete City in 1904. Her daily schedule was packed. Besides running the school, she was also the treasurer of the Presbyterian Mission in the Philippines, as well as the director of evangelistic work. She learned how to speak Cebuano to meaningfully interact with the Dumagueteños.
With her leadership and success as an educator, her alma mater, the College of Emporia, honored its outstanding alumna with an honorary Doctor of Laws degree in 1921. She was also granted Professor Emeritus, the highest faculty honor by the Silliman University Board of Trustees in 1938. Here with me is Congresswoman Jocelyn Silim Kaichok, an alumna of Silliman, who will tell us more about Laura Hibbard.
Maayong adlaw kaninyong tanan ug happy Founders Day to our fellow Sillimanians. I am always excited when women leaders are recognized for their contribution. For so long, we have always been giving tribute to our very first president, Dr. David Hibbard. But we have forgotten his wife, Dr. Laura Hibbard. Did you know that during President Emilio Aguinaldo's visit in 1907, he was so impressed by the Laura Hibbard classroom that he decided to send his three sons, Esteban, Miguel, and Emilio Jr., to Silliman Institute. They became students of Laura Hibbard. Chinese families in Cebu and as far as Sulu would send their sons to Silliman Institute. Mr. John Gokongwei Sr. was Laura's student from 1925 to 1937. So many interesting facts are in this room, and I'm so impressed.
And let us not forget President Carlos P. Garcia, who was a student of Laura in 1912 to 1916 and returned in 1918 as a college freshman.
Oh yes, Laura Hibbard's classroom produced a Philippine president.
We salute Laura Hibbard as a teacher who taught 9 to 12 classes every day. Let's listen to the words of Alfonso Villiran, who was one of the first 15 students of Silliman Institute in 1901.
Mrs. Laura Hibbard taught us very well. Her teaching was so effective that when I left school in 1906, I passed the junior teacher's examination given by the government. I became a teacher that year, remained a public school teacher until my retirement in 1928. Mrs. Hibbard taught geography and standard arithmetic. I knew all the countries and the cities on the globe. And in the book, the geography book that we used, even now, I can recite the continents. We drew the maps of the whole world, having been told to copy everything and to include the scalings of the legend of their respective drawings.
Laura Hibbard's commitment went beyond Silliman. Prior to leaving the Philippines, Mrs. Hibbard taught at Ellenwood Bible School. She retired from teaching on October 31, 1938, and made Pasadena, California, her home. She died on August 24, 1969, and was buried in Forest Lawn Memorial Park, Glendale, California.
Welcome, Sillimanians and friends. We hope you enjoyed our soft opening presentations of the beginnings of the Silliman University Heritage Museum, featuring the very impressive contributions of Dr. Laura Hibbard. With the approval of our Silliman University President, Dr. Betty McCann, and the Board of Trustees, the Dumaguete chapter of the Silliman Alumni Association Incorporated embarked on a project to take an inventory of heritage pieces in several departments and buildings in the campus. This was done during the month of February 2019.
Our findings and discoveries were numerous, and this led to the creation of the Silliman University Heritage Museum. Last December 15, 2019, the Dumaguete chapter officers, members, and friends went on a caroling fundraising for this project, and with generous hosts and donors, we happily raised the seed money we needed for the initial phase of this heritage museum. You may be asking, what's next? We plan to feature the contributions of Dr. James Chapman, showcasing the many furniture, fixtures, instruments, and specimens of his science classrooms and laboratories. This will be followed by the contributions of Mr. Charles Gluans, who headed the industrial and woodworking shops. We plan to showcase the tools and machinery he used to create numerous furniture and fixtures, many of which are still in use in various offices in the campus today. In summary, this Heritage Museum is a work in progress. We hope you will take the journey along with us. Let us keep the faith and remember how we started and how wonderfully we morphed into what we are today. Happy birthday, Silliman.
Invite you to come and visit the Silliman University Heritage Museum located at the second floor of Silliman Hall, featuring the life and times of Laura Hibbard. Thank you very much and happy Founders Day.
Sa